Alright, so my SD card was full and I had to go get some of the images off so I could continue to film. So what I've done here is played around with some different gears, and I think I have them the way I would like them to stay. Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that I did that before I glued them down. Not that it really makes any difference whether I glued them down or not, but anyway, I'm going to go glue them down, and now I have it documented where they were so I can get them in the right spot maybe. I'm probably going to grab my phone and take a picture. So I will be back and we will continue on with the inside of our album. Hey, I just wanted to check in with y'all and show you one of the things I do when I'm trying to design a new mini album. And one of the things I like to do is go through and pick out my favorite elements of the chipboard sheet. Because I always try and get the chipboard. I try and get the pockets and tags, if they have pockets and tags, because I love, love, love those, and Graphic 45 usually has those. This particular collection is kind of a remake of an older, or a re-release, I should say, of an older one. So it didn't have all the bells and whistles. The collection pack consisted of the 12 by 12 papers, this sticker sheet right here, and the chipboard sheet, which was right here. So of course, now that I want to show it, I don't know where it is. Oh, there it is, there it is, there it is, there it is, there it is. All right, and a couple of things have fallen out of it, but just to show, we used this frame on the Midori cover, the Midori insert. That's where we used that. This one I had taken out to look to see if I liked it on the cover of this TriFold that we're working on now, and I don't know where I've laid it, and the same with this one, but they're kicking around here somewhere. But anyway, the point of my story before I got derailed was I like to go through and pick out my favorite elements, because I'll get busy making my album and I'll get it, and then I'll be, oh shoot, I wanted to use that somewhere. So to keep from making that mistake, what I'm doing right now is I'm going to go through and pull out my absolute must-haves. This is one of them. I just love this image, and it was shaped like a tag, and so what I did was what I'm doing to this one right here, because I also want to keep this one. So I just thought I would share what I do. I pull off the one that I can't live without, and in this case, since it's a sticker, well, I do this to the chipboard too. I just wanted to ink the edges to get rid of the white edges, and I went through my scraps from what I've cut thus far and just found absolutely the smallest piece of cardstock that it would fit on. So, you know, obviously it's not going on that one. That one, yeah, I'd do this one or that one. But I'm going with this one because it's more narrow. My odds of being able to use this somewhere else are greater. This is too narrow. Anyway, so that's how I came up with this scrap. I just find the one I'm least likely going to be able to use for something else, and just go ahead and pop it down, because I'm going to stick these in a pocket somewhere, or, you know, I may need to create a pocket just so I have a place to put this. But I center the two sides, you know, that it's going to line up, and then I just cut the rest. So, and then I try and match these borders. I tried to get it equidistant from the side and the bottom, and now I'm going to try and cut it. And a lot of this I do off camera because, honestly, if I know somebody's watching, I have a lesser chance of getting it the way I want it. But I'm going to try to do this while I talk to you. And if I screw it up, see, it's already getting thicker. I have a hard time cutting straight. I could have put this on my cutter and done it, but I don't always feel like I can see exactly where I'm at. So there we go. That's not too bad. And since this sticker already has a stub corner, I'm going to grab my stub punch, crocodile, whatever. Just try and line it up even with that. I'm not really putting it all the way into the, you know, like put it all the way in there. It's going to cut too close. So I just try and line up the little edge that cuts with the edge that I have on my sticker, and just line it up best you can. It's not, you know, it's not 100%, even, but it's close. It's good enough. Nobody is going to look through your album and get out a micro ruler and go to measure and all that. And if I can find a half a circle or something, or maybe I'll just fussy cut that. Oh my goodness, I'm going to try this with y'all watching. You know, I'm going to screw it up now. There's not really room to turn. But I just know I don't have a punch that's the right size. So, how does that look? Probably should have left it like that, shouldn't I? But now that I've got it like that, I got to do the other side. You see the messes I get myself into? Alright, well, you know, at least when you watch my videos, well, first of all, hopefully you do see a new technique or something that, you know, either inspires you or gives you new information. But if nothing else, y'all can just laugh right at me because I have a tendency to just make it up as I go and to mess things up and figure out how to fix it. But that is the process of creativity, of creation. It's the process. Alright, so anyway, I haven't really designed any pages further. I just was doing this as I went, and so I just thought I'd share it with you that this is one of the things I do. So, we're going to get to designing those pages, and then I will share them with you next. Okay, so here is the next element that I just must incorporate into my album. Again, one of the cut aparts. So what I've done, she measures 3 1/4 inches. So I want a 1/4 inch around her. And then I also want a 1/2 inch flat because what I plan to do, this is our right side cover, right? The one that we put this on top of. Alright, so now we've got it opened and we're on our flap. The flap's not open, the flap is closed. So we're on the top side of the inside flap. Yeah. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little flap and put her on it, and then we're going to have a double pocket on the back. So step 1, let's not get ahead of ourselves. That's so hard for me, as you can tell. Alright, this is 4 inches this way. It is 9 inches this way. Okay, I am going to score it on the 4-inch edge at a 1/2 inch because I want it to be 3 1/2. Well, let's do it at 3 1/2. It's easier for me to do it on this side than to get my hands backwards over there. So, I want it 3 1/2 inches, and I want a 1/2 inch flap to attach it with. So I'm scoring it at 3 1/2, or if you're better at it, you can score it at 1/2 inch over there. Oh, and since this is really thick cardstock, I'm going to flip it over and score it on the other side as well. Just makes it fold better for me. Alright, so that's what I did there. Get my bone folder. Things falling over on the floor. Don't pay that any mind. Alright, you'd think I'd never done it before. There we go. So burnish, burnish, burnish. My favorite thing. And let's just make sure, since, you know, we cut this 9 inches, we cut this 9 inches, they should be the same, but sometimes it's just a hair different. We're looking pretty good. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my score tape on the back of my flap, and because I know I'm going to need to do that. So just get it done. Alright. And I'm deciding here, should I do a stub edge on my corners? I'm not going to, and here's why. Because this isn't quite a 1/4 inch shorter than my paper, but it's a 1/4 inch less wide. So my border isn't exactly the same all the way around, and I think if I do a stub edge, that's going to be a little more noticeable. So, and also I don't want to do a stub on my cardstock because I am going to attach pockets on the back side, and I want 2 of them, and I think I'm just going to do them out of pattern paper as opposed to putting another layer of cardstock on there since this is so thick. But let's just get the front done first, and then I will go find the paper that I want to use for the back side pockets. Right now, all I really know is that I wanted this element on that page, and I decided the way to do it, instead of just doing a long narrow flap, is to go ahead and put 2 pockets on the back side of it that'll hold 2 good sized tags. I think we can get about 4 by 6 mats in those if I'm remembering correctly. I haven't calculated anything because this is where my mind went, was to getting her on there. So, like I said, I like to go through and get my favorite pieces, parts into my album, displaying them to the best, you know, the best I can before I go and just do the rest of it, you know, like just the regular mats and the, you know, I just want to make sure I incorporate all my faves. So that's what I'm working on now, and then I just kind of fill in the blanks. Sometimes I make an album by design, like I want the pages a certain way, and then I go cut the paper to fit. But I am just so totally in love with this paper line, as you've heard me say over and over and over, that I want to show it off as best I can. And I've already done the faux dory cover with one of my favorite images. And then we did the canvas board with another one of my two favorite images. And so, see, I have so many favorites. How can you have that many favorites? Because this line is just me. It is just amazing. It is just gorgeous. And Tammy totally nailed it when she sent it to me. So, I'm tickled to death. I hope I do a good job for her. I hope she's happy with the projects that have come out of the line she sent me, since it was my very oh, so the wind's gonna blow. You saw that, right? That wasn't my shaky old hand. That was little Mother Nature helping me out there. Alright, get that as straight as I can. I like it. I like it, like it, like it. Alright, so now I'm off to find the see, I can't just pick a paper for the back of this for the, no. I have to take into consideration what paper I want to have here. Right? Because like, if I just slap something on the back of this, then what if it looks like duty up next to whatever I put here? So I'm going to figure out the 2 different papers that I want to put there. You know, I think we can go ahead and just put her down. No, I want to put the should I put the pockets on before or after? Here I go again with making more decisions. Jeez. I'm gonna do them first. Okay. Phew. Man, how hard was that? Alright, so be back with the next step. Okay, so I got my pattern paper onto the flap. And I'm going to go ahead and attach the flap, this flap to this flap. Now originally I was going to put it on the front. I changed my mind, and luckily my score tape had not been burnished down, so I was able to peel that off. I put the score tape on the inside because it's kind of, I don't know, I think it gives it more stability if it's hinging from behind as opposed to in the front. So I've got this all lined up. I'm going to turn it over and holding it down. Alright, and I think it moved. Let me make sure it's all lined up top to bottom here. Ah! Am I off camera there? Sorry. Okay. Line it up there, line it up down here. Okay. I just kind of want to feel the edge. See if it feels straight. Ah, you know what? I'm doing it this way. Alright, I'm doing it like that. And then I'm just going to fold it over. Alright. That felt pretty good. Burnish, burnish. Alright. Looks good. Now, for our pockets on the back of this flap, this is a long album. It's just like catching on everything on my table here. Alright. On the back side of our flap, we're going to put 2 pockets. And since our cardstock is nice and thick and we've got designer paper on the other side, I decided to just do them out of designer paper. Okay? So I'm going to leave a border. Hold on. Okay, I think we're about to put the pockets on. So sorry about that. I got derailed. My daughter showed up with chocolate chip cookie dough. Homemade chocolate chip cookie dough for me. How flippin' awesome is that? You know, I wasn't going to turn down homemade chocolate chip cookie dough. Alright, so here's where we're at. We got this little flappy do on. We're going to put these 2 pockets on the back side of that flappy do. And I want them about 1/4 inch down and 1/4 inch in. Oh, I should tell you, I cut these 2 pieces of paper at 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. So that and then we score at 1/2 and 1/2 on this end if you turn it around, or you scored it at 4 3/4. So 1/2 and 4 3/4, fold it under, put your score tape on. We're going to make a little pocket. Before you adhere it down though, just run a tiny little bead of glue on the inside where it's closest to the fold. Okay? Alright, so go ahead and glue that down. Pull off your score tape. Excuse me. Pull off your score tape. Make sure it's right side up. I want it closer to the inside edge so that I'm making a mess. So I have my 1/4 inch border on the top. Okay, there we go. So there's pocket 1. And usually I build a pocket off of cardstock and then I mat it, but like I said, this cardstock is nice and thick. So I just cut my pockets to where the black would give me a border. And there we go. That's where our second one's going to go. So we're going to do the same thing. Going to run our bead of glue on the inside. Going to remove our score tape and let it fly all about, because it's super fun. Alright. Make sure we're right side up. I'm coming in from the corner. 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. Putting it down. Burnishing it at the bottom. Okay. So that's going to be like that. Alright, now what we're going to do is put the paper down here. Now I debated about a magnet. I don't think we're going to need a magnet. We're going to have a couple of mats in here. Alright. A couple of photo mats. See, it's going to be very stinking cute. Alright, so those are going to go there. Jeez, I think the weight of it's going to keep it down enough that I'm not going to need... I don't think we need a magnet, because it's going to be hard to put it in, put one in after I've got this paper down. So I'm debating. I think we're going to be fine. I may regret that later. Alright, so on this one, I'm going to use the striped side up. At first I was going to put the corsets up, but then I decided I wanted to put the corsets on the matting of those, the mats that go in the pocket. I liked the corsets on top of the stripe better than I liked the stripe on top of the corsets. You'll see what I mean here in a minute, I think. That may or may not have made sense. at this point. All right, so we are going to put that right there. Okay, burnish it down really well. Make sure that glue gets squished down. And you know, we'll decorate this up a little bit later on, but for now, that's what we're doing. And now we're going to go ahead and mat these. And this is what I was talking about. I'm putting the corsets on top of the stripe, as opposed to the stripe on top of the corsets. Trust me, I tried it both ways and it just looks better this way to me. So, that's what we're doing. Glue these down onto our black mat. Oh, I'm sorry, those black mats are cut at 4 inches by 6.5 inches. So the matting for the, and I used the 1/4 inch rounder. So we've got 4 inches by 6.5, and then this mat right here is 3 3/4 by 6 1/4. And the same for the back side. And for the back side, I wanted to use, this looks like ledger paper, so I thought that would be good for journaling. Happens to be the back side of what I made the pockets out of. So that worked well. I liked it, looked good, went with it. Didn't have to cut up another piece of pattern paper. And woo, slipped right out of my hand. Looks good. So that's what our mats are going to look like. We're going to have corsets in the front, journaling lines, ledger paper looking stuff on the back. I hope I got those going the right direction. Whew, good deal. Okay, see how cute that is? Let's finish the other one and it'll be even cuter. And then we're on to the next little bit. And I'm deciding, you know, I was going to shoot this whole tutorial in one video, and I decided it's just going to get so long that I've started breaking it up. Since I had filled up my SD card and we weren't like half done with it, I realized that, yeah, that's going to be one long video. So I have already uploaded the part where we just covered the spine and the covers where we did all that. And I'm not really sure how I'm going to break up the rest. I may end up breaking it up just like 1 page at a time. I don't know if that makes it easier or harder to follow. I'd like an answer to that in the comments. Would you, when it comes to mini albums, would you prefer to see one great big long honkin' one so it's easy to find because there's only one? Or would you like it broke up in segments? Because I have a sneaky suspicion that nobody really sits down and makes a mini album from beginning to end. Maybe you do. You know, more power to you. I do not. For one, I rarely have that much, a slot of time that big, you know. And for two, it just really hurts my neck and shoulders. I need to go do some stretches because I kind of don't always have the best posture when I'm crafting, and it really stresses out my neck and shoulders from being humped over. So I like to go stretch, relax, watch TV, eat, and come back. Stuff like that. And then, you know, other things like life happens. Got to go to work, got to go to the store. Like, you know, there's a whole other world besides crafting. So they tell me. I can't believe it. My daughter and I were just discussing, you know, obsessive behavior, and I'd say I'm probably a little obsessed with the crafting, but makes me happy. I don't think it's hurting anything yet, except my pocketbook. But anyway, so there is that one. So we have the corsets on top of the stripe. We have our lovely lady here, and I thought, you know, corsets, women, that kind of goes together. Flip it open, and lots of room back here for putting 4x6 photos. You could, you know, you could put a big, you can do whatever you want. I don't know, you could use these for photo mats. I may put a little embellishment on them. Journaling cards on the back. So I'm pretty happy with our next page in the process there. And I also think the colors of this page tie to the, they're all going to tie together. They're the same collection, but, you know, it's always nice when they complement each other. I have to figure out what to put under there now. But I'm still having fun with my images, so the next page I'll probably be, you know, incorporating one more of my favorite images and then using the background paper to kind of fill in. So let's pick which one we're going to do next, and I'll be back to you. Alright, so we have an issue. I was wrong. It is going to be a problem with those flaps. Watch what happens. You open your book, you open this flap, and those are down. I don't even like that. So, I don't know how a magnet would work though, so I came up with a different solution. I think if we take this cute little tag here that was in the chipboard pieces, and we put it right there with a brad, okay, then you can swivel it this way and those will clear and you can open it. But when you swivel it the other way, it should catch the edges and hold it down. So, and besides that, it's cute. I think we can get away with having that right there. So I want it right on the edge of that stripe. In between, I'm just going to do it this way because I can see the center better. Alright. And I'm going to open this up and just carefully poke this through to the other side. We have not put any pattern paper on the back, so we're okay. We could have still put a magnet on there too, because there's no pattern paper. We could have just put it on the back side. But I want this. So I did go ahead and take the black soot and inked up the edges. Okay, and I found this cute little black, like sugared brad. I had some Tim Holtz one. I was going to get the like the brass colored one, but they're too small. They go through that center hole. So we needed one with a fatter head. So I'm just going to poke that through. Okay. Flip it over and push it down. Alright, we will cover that up with our pattern paper. And let's see if that will do the trick for us. Yep, let's get it centered. I don't want to glue it though because I want it to swivel. So that should solve our problem. Alright, so now we open it up. No problem. If we want to open our flap, we swivel that around and we open just like that. It bugs me that that doesn't really stay in the center, but that's just going to have to be how it is because I can't glue it. Then it won't swivel. So there we go. Problem solved. And really you only have to do one. You don't even have to catch both of them. But there we go. How cute is that? It even adds a cute little element to it. So I'm cool with that. Problem solved.